G'day my friends, Marty Ware here from Marty's Garden. I tell you what, have I got a video for you guys who love leafy greens. We're in my backyard permaculture garden, yep, a very small space. We're looking at vertical spaces, pots, different plants actually. It's my top 4 Asian greens that you can easily grow in your backyard. Alright, let's go and check out the first one. Down here, number 1. The betel leaf. Now this has no relation to betel nut, which they chew in Asia to get this red stuff all over their teeth, and it gives them a bit of a high, a bit of an energy, a bit like a super caffeine in a way. No relation. This is related to pepper, believe it or not. It gets these beautiful little flowers on it, and it grows in the shade. Now it does need a nice warm area, and I'm here on the mid-north coast. We're just on the borderline of subtropical and temperate, but because I've created a space where it has its own ecosystem, it happily grows underneath this papaya tree. Now how it grows is very interesting. It throws out runners, and then each little runner throws out roots, and it spreads out in a shaded area. Now in the cooler months, it will sort of slow up and not do too much, but as soon as it warms up again, it will just kick off and produce lots and lots of plants for you. Now what we do is we grab the leaf like this when we're eating it, and when they're nice lime green, I find them much more yummy. But you can eat them like this, and you snip that bit out there like that. You put a bit of food in there and you wrap it like that. Bit of noodles, bit of meat, and very well known in India and parts of Asia, and it's supposed to be really good for women for some reason. But look, I'm not a naturopath or anything like that, so I can't give you the exact of what it does for you. But awesome plant, awesome for wraps, easy to grow. Just keep it out of any frost, cool breezes, grow it in the shade, and you can grow it in pots too. So if we come around this way, if you notice my permaculture garden, it's a bit of a jungle, and I do it like that because what we want to do is confuse the pests, and we want to just come in here and harvest. So you can see this was the original mother plant. Now I got this growing all throughout the garden underneath fruit trees and things, and it's throwing out lots of runners again still. So it's sitting there in a pot, and if it got really cold, I would bring that into a zone where it's out of the cool area. And you can see here, I've got more in a pot, a water well pot. So I've really got too many betel leaf plants, but I'm thinking of probably propagating some and selling some into the next season. So what we're going to do, my daughter's on the camera here helping me with this vlog. She'll come back over here. So we're in the nice vertical spot, and we're going to go to plant number 2. Plant number 2 is the climbing Salon spinach. This is commonly grown throughout Asia, and it's no relation to the spinach, I believe, but it has this sort of gelatinous leaf that cooks up really well. Now when you cook it, you do have to get that green liquid out of there, oxalates I think they call it. And if you eat too much of it, it's not real good for you, but it is a very healthy plant, and it loves to climb, and it produces these little black berries that if you get it on your clothes, it will stain your clothes. They use it to dye clothes, and I think this is going to become popular yet again. Now this plant, you can just grab a cutting like this, so it's growing on the ground, I got it everywhere, and basically stick that end in the ground where there's a bit of leaf there, like that, and it will grow again. It is amazing. And if you give it some vertical support, as you can see, like this, it's growing right up. And now as it's going into the cooler months, it's starting to set a lot of seed here. So I'll be gathering seed for next season to not so much grow this plant on, because it's a perennial and it will stay here for ages, and it'll drop more seeds down and just keep growing in this space. So it's an awesome perennial plant to have in a permaculture and small space garden. Now you can see I've got it in a pot, right? And so I just water the pot, and then the roots go down into the ground and shoot up through, and I can actually, so dropping seeds down here, once it shoots more plants, I can move this pot, put it in another spot, and let it grow again, and I've still got more plants. So I'm using this system as I guess an integrated permaculture system to fill this space, and we like it in omelettes. So great plant, really easy to grow. Needs a lot of sun. The more sun, the better. Likes a hot climate. But if you're going to grow in a temperate climate, grow it in a pot, take it indoors, away from any frosts and cool breezes, and bring it out again into the next season. All right, let's go to the next plant, number 3. I love the flexi hand vlogs. These are fun. Plant number 3 is the Kangkong, my all-time favourite leafy green. One of the first ones I ever started growing here at Marty's garden, because we harvest this plant hard and I grow it pretty much everywhere. It's used in so many recipes at our home, and it's one of the easiest plants that I know of in the planet to grow. So Karen's on the camera. She's going to come around, look at this pot here, which we've been just harvesting hard off. Now it is cooling down, so Kangkong doesn't like the cooler weather, but it's still hot enough. At the moment we're getting around 24-degree days here in Australia on the mid-north coast. And the leaf is just absolutely beautiful. Now I've got lots of videos about Kangkong on my channel, so I'm going to leave a link up there and down below in the description and give you a little look at this leaf. It is so soft and tender, and a lot of people that come around to visit, I give them cuttings, and what you do is you take off each little leaf like that, and this is probably a bit long. You don't need something that long, maybe about there, and you'd use scissors to get a nice cleaner cut, but it will throw out a root around there. So you just stick it in water in a warm day, in a warm spot, and within about a week it'll throw roots and you've got a new plant. And basically I just plant this all around the garden, underneath the trees and things like that as well, and throw cuttings around, and it comes up literally everywhere. I use it as a lettuce replacement, and then in stir fries, and also to make my pad kapow, my Thai dish, which I make with like stir fry sort of minced beef. Really, really nice. You've got to give it a lot of water though. See, this is growing in quite a big pot, and I water it all the time. You can flood this plant. It's semi-aquatic. It loves water, and the more heat and the more water and the more compost you give it, the better it's going to grow. It is just an amazing plant, and I've had this one plant growing for about 3 years now. Really cool plant. As I said, there's going to be a link up in the cards and in the description down below coming up real soon, because you need to learn more about this plant. Alright, we're going to head over to plant number 4, one that I've only recently added to the garden and learned how to grow in the last year. Oh, I've got a bit of betel leaf caught in my throat, Karen. I think I might need a drink. Let's go to plant number 4. Plant number 4. Actually, before we talk about plant number 4, I got a bit of that betel leaf caught in my throat because I ate. You got to eat it with food, or if they're really mature leaves, you got to steam them a little bit. And I've got my monkey cup, so I'm just going to wash down. Oh, that feels much better. Now, look at my avocado tree, guys. This is a grafted wort, what they call a semi-dwarf style tree. And I'm going to let that grow about another couple more feet, and then it will be producing lots and lots of food. But the wonderful thing is plant number 4 is growing underneath or surrounded by this tree, because remember, this is a permaculture garden. We're using the above space, the middle space, and the low space. So we're going to head down to the low space here and look at this amazing plant. This is called Vietnamese Mint, and it's also a semi-aquatic plant, and you will see it in shops occasionally being sold in pots for ponds and things, and it has the zing, man. This has, it's like a power plus. They also call it Vietnamese coriander. That is, better not get some more caught in my throat. That is really strong, really intense flavour. And what you do is you put it, when you get your betel leaf, put a bit of Kangkong, bit of noodles inside, fresh Kangkong, and then maybe a little bit of minced beef or something like that. And you just get a couple of these little leaves like that, and you take them out and you drop them in. I nearly dropped that into my tea, into my water. So you just drop them into your wrap, and the flavour is intense. And if you ever eaten Vietnamese food, you know that they love really fresh food. And this is one of the ones that they grow a lot, and you get in the recipes when you visit Vietnam, especially on the streets. Now, this plant also grows from a cutting in water really easy. So what we do is we just take off these bottom leaves here, like that. We probably, if you get scissors, that's probably better. I'm a bit rough around the edges. Stick that in some water, and in about 3 or 4 days to a week, you'll have another plant. Now, this plant, also you can harvest hard. It will thicken up. It's not like invasive like mint, but it's a really awesome plant to have, and definitely one of my top picks to have in the garden. Now, it will handle sort of cooler areas. It will grow in the temperate areas. It likes sort of like semi-dappled shade. It doesn't like the full sun too much. A bit like the betel leaf, it can handle a little bit more sun than the betel leaf. It grows really well in pots, so you can move it around the yard. If you're in a cooler space, you just put it in a warmer spot in the winter. It'll slow up, and then it will grow again. And then you take cuttings and start moving it around the garden. Now you can see underneath my avocado tree, these are betel leaf. So more just come up from cuttings. Kangkong over there from cutting as well, growing out into the grass. So this is all underneath, and you can see here some coriander even that's come up where I've just thrown some seed out and where we can harvest. So the red chard, well, this is red vein sorrel actually. That's probably doing it a bit tough, needs a bit of fertilizer, but I can walk in here, I can go boom, like that. Get some of that, little bit of coriander, little bit of Vietnamese mint, put some noodles in there and things like that. Let's not forget the Kangkong, wrap it up. Of course you're going to make it much nicer than that. Eat the thing pretty fast to make fast. It's almost like Asian style fast food at home, right? Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the show. We're going to take you over and just give you a little bit of a bonus because we're running like this vlog / 4 amazing plants that I'm growing at home, and I'm going to do the flexi hand to take you to another spot. Something's going on in the vlog. Get ready to go. Oh, she's coming in fast, this one. So we got really something exciting to show you. The other day, just getting a bit off, take his hat off. Oh, she's warming up today. All right, so we got something really cool to show you. The other day I was in here in the garden, I was doing some stuff, and it's hornet, like a big wasp going flying out, and he's about that big orange and black one. Around like a big helicopter. I thought it was going to attack me. And so I hit the area with a hose to stop him from building the nest, or her from building the nest. But I thought I might let her build the nest and see how it looks to show you guys. It's not something I like to have around near the house, but this is not the type of wasp that builds like big ones like bees. It's a singular predatory wasp that mostly hunts on spiders. They build the nest, then they put the little spider inside, drop their eggs, and when the egg comes out, they eat that spider. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. Hopefully the light might be a bit weird, but we'll do the very best we can to get the shot. So come with me, guys. Look at that under there. Look how crazy the shape is, like a cone and everything, like the design, and then the little sort of bulb at the bottom. And it's going to put its baby in there and bring the spider up in there and leave it in there, and it'll close it up with a bit more mud. At the moment it's open and she's not around, so otherwise she'd be hovering around us everywhere at the moment because we would be right near her nest. Oh man, I'll tell you what, you've got to wash that thing. It's got a stinger on it, probably about that long. So, do you have a favourite leafy green that you like to grow at home, or an Asian green, or a question about the video? Then please leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. There's plenty going on here in the worm cave, which has now become the studio, which is absolutely exciting because I can get to bring out more cool content for you guys and expand this channel. So I'm really excited about that. So keep an eye on it. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Give me that big thumbs up, guys. Share the love. Helps me get my more videos out there. Helps the channel grow. And I just love seeing the big thumbs up. Just with this one. That's really cool. All right, flexi hand. Here it comes. Music. Bring on the music. Bye for now. Tell you what, I'm loving this lounge in the studio with the granny blanket. You like the granny blanket? These are handmade, these things. Picked it up from the second-hand shop. I'm digging digging it. I am absolutely digging the granny blanket on the lounge in the studio.